review. And I'm also going to be doing some easy curl bicep curls. I hadn't heard about Severance till recently, but I've seen it pop off everywhere, so I thought I had to give it a go. And I'm not gonna lie, it's very good. However, this is one of those shows where you kind of have to pay attention or you're gonna miss it, or you're just not gonna understand it because you're gonna be an intellectual to understand Severance. It took me 2 attempts to get into the show because I'll be honest, the first time I wasn't paying enough attention and I completely missed the whole premise and I had no idea what was going on. So the story of Severance. You've got this procedure called Severance. Shock. But what it does is it separates your home personality to your work personality. So you basically become 2 different people that have no memory or frankly any idea of the other's existence. Well, they know they exist, but they know nothing about each other. And people choose to do this for numerous reasons, but our main character Mark has done it in the passing of his wife, so for I guess 8 hours a day he just doesn't have to mourn, doesn't have to grieve. Trying to work out the theme really bad and I just can't do it. The writing in the show is amazing. The thing is, they drip feed you content, alright? Because as soon as you're about to clock out of the show, they hit you with like some crazy shit and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna see what happens now. And they've kind of done this the whole show. And to be fair, the deeper you go, the more invested you are. So, I don't know. The show's a bit of a drug because I can totally see people not getting into it at all. But once you're in, you're hooked and then you're the victim of the show. You're at its mercy. The show's got a really good key cast. You got like a kind of like a fat funny dude called Dylan. He's a bit of comedic relief. You got, put his name on the screen, I can't think of it right now. Who's kind of like a Reddit mod, very rule stickler guy, but you know, you find more out about him. And then Helly, who's like the new girl, and at first she's very anti her existence because they're effectively prisoners. And then quite dark themes ensue in the show. It starts off fairly innocent, kind of. Actually, I think I just lied to you all guys. I'm sorry guys. It gets progressively darker and we still don't know what's really happening. They all work at this company called Lumen, who are the ones that developed the chip. And still, to this day, I just watched the season 2 finale, which I'll briefly touch on soon. I still don't fully understand what they're doing, what their intentions are, or like what they can do to like the general public. I actually don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I actually I haven't worked out fully what they are. They're like some sort of health organization. I don't know. Please! Tell me! Show don't tell, they say. Show don't tell. Show don't tell. It's very interesting to see the dynamics between, they're called innies and outies. Like the innies are the severed personality and the outies is basically the person, but it's very interesting how they both kind of independently live their lives and have their own kind of story arcs going. But it's quite dark, and without getting into spoilers, crazy stuff happens and a lot of the characters are finding out stuff as we find out because we really aren't privy to a lot of stuff until maybe later, but even then it's like I said, I don't know what the Lumen are doing. I don't know. Spoiler warning. Yeah, I want to talk about the end of season 1 and how it goes into season 2 and a bit of season 2 just because I can't say anything else really. So at the end of season 1, the characters have worked out that they can switch manually to their inner self in the outside world because this already happened to Dylan and they succeed in doing this thing and come to find out there's a whole lot of revelations that are found. So Helly, who's been the one that's like most anti being a 7th person, is the daughter of the company that runs it. So her outie's a fucking evil bitch. And then Mark finds out that his Audi's wife, is actually alive because she was been one of the staff at Lumen we've seen the whole time, but we didn't know this. Like, we've heard of his wife, but we didn't see any pictures of her until this last episode. Crazy last episode, right? Miss Cobell, who has been Mark's neighbor as well throughout this whole thing. My neighbor's watching me and I feel kind of awkward now. Guys, what do I do? But it all comes together and you think it's over, and then we get back into season 2 and it's a bit like nothing happened, but we've got all this new information, and again they're just back to drip feeding us bit by bit about what's happening. Also, a major part of early season 2, I predicted it has something to do with Helly. I'm not gonna say it, but I predicted it. Maybe I am a genius. I don't know. What do you guys think? But back to like what I was saying. If I have a gripe at any with the show, it's the pacing. Like, it does feel a little slow sometimes. There was one episode in particular in season 2 that focused on a character we hadn't seen much during the season. And it was good to get a bit of backstory, but it just felt a little out of place for the point of the season we're at, because we can't reach out the climax. And then again, I might not talk about the season 2 finale in depth because I don't want to spoil that, but another crazy season finale. It was movie length. And I'm kind of frustrated with the main character, but I understand it, and now I need more. You see, this is what they do. They get you hooked on it, and then they just gradually, bit by bit, and then you're fucking forced to see what happens next. It really is just coke. But overall, Severance, I do think it's a really good show that you should watch. Maybe watch it with someone so you can help each other fill in the gaps if you're struggling. It's not that hard, but you know, a lot of people have got that severed attention span perhaps. Maybe we should sever our TikTok minds from our actual lives. Maybe this could be an improvement for society. Severance, both seasons, gets... I didn't want too many notes, but I'm giving it a 9. Lots of 9s on this channel. Pure 9, all right? Just 9. So with that being said, I'll see you all next time. And please subscribe, please.